Hello, my name is Ashley and we're with AC Energy, and we're going to be talking about the transportation and water usage in my home and how our practices affect our environment and our health even. So to begin, we collected and analyzed this data because it is important to know and be aware of how much of our resources we're using and if we're being responsible with them, and how some of these things are impacting our environment and our health as well. So to begin, I started with how many miles I drive per day, and since I'm the only person who drives in my home, the average distance traveled is 17.39, which I notice is a lot because I only go to school and work. So I think it's because I live pretty far from both places, but that's usually the average of what I do in a day. And then I calculated how many gallons of gas are used per year, and normally I use about 198.35 gallons of gas per year, which is honestly pretty low compared to other cars, and I have a good MPG compared to others as well. So I guess that's useful on because of the car I have. So then I want to know how much money I was spending. So I sort of just searched up the price of gas near me, and I did that with the amount of miles I drive, and I noticed I don't spend as much money on gas as other cars do, and my car gets a good MPG in the city and on the freeway, so I get about 32 in the city and 42 on the freeway, which is pretty good since the average in regular cars is 24.2. So I guess my car is very helpful in that sense. So implications and solutions of the transportation data are that gas cars contain toxic pollutants, including carbon monoxide, smog, and other harmful chemicals that harm our lungs when we breathe that in, and it also affects our earth by polluting the air, which is what we are breathing in, and also with climate change, gas and stuff like that are very harmful. But we can solve this by using electric cars. We are seeing that more and more nowadays, and we can also be more responsible with how much we are driving as well. So if there are close destinations we need to get to, we can walk or ride bikes because they're closer destinations. So there really is no point in using a car for those short drives, to say. After the transportation usage, then I did the water usage, and since in my family there's 3 people, I just calculated the average number of minutes showered each day, and I do the most. I average to about 25 minutes per day, which is a lot longer than my mother and a little bit longer than my brother. So I do shower for a really long time, which isn't really good because we're wasting water. So for the gallons of water used, I also use the most, about 18,000 gallons of water per year, which is a lot. And my brother is below me, and my mother, obviously, she uses the least, but it's still a lot to say compared to others. And then I calculated how much money is being spent. And I contribute the most to the cost of water being used because I shower for the longest and my mother spends the least. And we spend a lot of money on water, so I should probably not be showering for so long. Nobody needs an hour in the shower, so I should really be responsible with the way I'm using the water. So some implications of the water usage is that with my family and I using more than the average amount of water in a year, we can imply that we are wasting water. So we aren't really using it responsibly. We aren't using our resources like we should, and we probably should do that because we are in a drought. So that brings into the solutions. We need to be more mindful of the amount of water we are using by spending less time in the shower and like less time with like other products like washing dishes, clothes, and stuff like that. So to summarize my findings today, we found out how many miles are being driven in a year and how much money is spent on gas, which is sort of a reality check because it lets you know if you're being useful or not and how much you are impacting the earth. And I impact it pretty much. I drive a lot, so that's sort of letting me know how much money I'm spending as well and how much gas I'm using. And it's the same with the amount of water that is being used and the amount of money that is being spent on that as well. We're wasting water by being in the shower for an extremely long time. So some of the limitations of this study could be that when gathering this type of data, for example, for the transportation, it's not really like reliable because I only did a week of the I only did a week of how many miles I drive, and that obviously could change throughout the year. I could drive to LA, I could go out of town, and I drive to more places than just work and to school. So different routes is a limitation, as well as timing. When it rains, you drive a little slower, so you might take longer to get to a place, which is using more miles in a way, or things like that. And the same for water. We only did the minutes of showering per day, but we didn't calculate the time we take washing dishes, how long we do our laundry for, and things like that, or like how long we water outside for, like water the plants. So that's obviously a limitation because that wasn't in the data. So that's pretty much it.